Brandon Cooks is off the board. He signed a 2-year extension. Apparently, Bobby, you told me about that.
I forgot.
I was having dreams of Brandon Cooks. Just hypothetically, though. Just hypothetically, okay? Just bear with me.
Any player we're going to talk about who's not a Cowboy in relation to coming to the Cowboys
will be a hypothetical. Extension. Yeah.
Well, it'll just always be hypothetical.
You're right. None of this will happen.
No.
It's just fun to discuss and fun to kick around. Would you have traded a third for Brandon Cooks? If
his contract ended up being like what, $10 million a year?
Yeah,
is what it looks like it's going to end up being. Probably. Yeah, I mean he's been a pretty reliable receiver now.
I think so too. When you look at the numbers that he had last year, he had over 1,000 yards, 90 catches, and the majority of that was with Davis and Mills as his quarterback.
Yep,
I would have said sign me up. And I get it. You know, I'm a big draft guy like you, like Hellman, like Broadus, and I mean Eric.
Wow, you think you're like Broadus?
Better. Are you kidding me? I have more hair.
Oh.
No, Broadus is a much better draft guy than I am. He's been doing
too
this
late.
for
You already said it. Can't take it back.
Many years, and I love interacting with him. But Eric was not into doing that. I was just, to me, the Cowboys have the draft capital. If they want to move back into the third, they can do that easily. And if Brandon Cooks had have left and they didn't want to extend him, they could have gotten a comp pick back for him if he had have left in free agency if it had just been a 1-year rental. So I just didn't really see a negative in making that trade. So here's a couple other guys that
never made a Pro Bowl, by the way. 6,000 yard seasons, never made a Pro Bowl. Yeah. He is this generation's Marquez Colston, who also I don't think ever made a Pro Bowl.
Isn't it crazy that when I looked at his age, he's still only 28 years old. He's the same age as Amari.
He's the same age as you?
No, I'm older.
Oh, okay.
I'm 30.
Amari's not even 28.
Is he 27?
Mm-hmm.
Turning 28? Wow. It feels like Brandon Cooks has been in the league forever.
It's been a minute, man. It's been, gosh, how many years are we talking about now? This is year coming up for him. This will be year 9.
Gee whiz. He was young. He was young coming in. So here are some other receivers I'm going to throw at you. And these are just guys that, hey.
Is this, would I trade for them?
Yeah, would you trade for them? And I mean, would the Cowboys have interest? Maybe. It does seem like they're looking around at receiver help. We know that they at least called, and I don't know how likely it was that a deal would be made for Devontae Parker. It was too rich for them, the 3rd-round pick. We know that. But these are teams that are rich at the position and or might be looking to move on from guys because they're rebuilding. So the first name I'm going to throw at you, Tyler Boyd with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Are you going to give me draft capital? Like, how much is it? Are you going to give me how much would it cost? Or do I just have to, in a vacuum, say would I like them on the team?
We're just in a vacuum talking here.
Sure, I'd like him here.
Maybe available. We know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He's their number 3 option. He's a guy that we don't think that they're going to be able to pay because they're going to end up, they're going to lock up the other 2 guys. So Tyler Boyd's probably going to be the odd man out there, one would assume. And I think that if the Bengals could move him and receive something for him versus just let him leave on the open market, maybe they'd be interested in that. And Tyler Boyd's only due just a little bit over $8 million this year and next year. Very affordable. He's certainly a player that I would love to get my hands on if the Cowboys wanted to flip, even if it's a day 2 pick to acquire him.
I don't think I'd go at day 2 for Tyler Boyd.
You would go a day 2
I'd go
Tyler
4.
Boyd?
I'd go 4. I would not go 3. I wouldn't give a top 100
pick.
I think that you can find a receiver in the top 100 who ends up being a better player than Tyler Boyd.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the more underrated players in the league.
I think he's good. I just think I think you can find somebody in the 2nd or 3rd round this year who potentially would have a better career.
Okay, now there's another receiver that we're going to talk about when we go around the NFL for this very team that they have already apparently rejected a very, very good offer for. But how about his teammate that we have heard nothing about, but a guy that I've been in love with since he came into the league, Tyler Lockett?
Again, what kind of capital are we talking about here? Because that's a guy who's only going to play the slot.
Tyler Lockett is set to make $13 million, and he's older. I don't believe he would cost anywhere near what they're looking for to get DK Metcalf. I would assume you're probably looking at a 4th rounder.
Okay, sure. I'm not going top 100 pick for a guy like that, though.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Just because of the age, or what is it about Tyler Lockett that you're off about?
The age and, the limitations, like he's going to play the slot here. That's where he would play. And so, I mean,
don't you think that the slot is an important?
I do, but I don't think it's
specifically for Dak.
I just don't think it's enough to give up a top 100 pick for.
Like when you look at the position that is really,
which would you rather do? Like take on that money and give up a third, or just go sign Cole Beasley?
I'd rather have a Tyler Lockett than
I'd rather sign Cole at that point.
I think Tyler Lockett's a far better player.
I think he's a better player, but I think when we're talking about like the investment, giving up a pick and how much you have to pay him versus how much you just have to pay Cole and then make a pick, then I'd definitely take Cole.
I'm also a believer in the money stuff is all a bunch of crap.
What do you mean?
I think you can easily just flip something here, flip something there, and you can budget the stuff.
I'm sure you can. I just don't want to. I just
clearly don't believe that.
No, I mean I think you can make certain moves, but I mean you definitely would have to pay more money to Tyler Lockett. It's money you could
100%.
You would have more spending cash,
right,
with Cole Beasley than Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett also is going to help you in the return game if you wanted that aspect of it.
I thought that's what CD was supposed to do.
I don't think they want CD Lamb to do that now that he's your number one guy.
Well, the guy they had him rotating with was Cedrick Wilson, and he's not here anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure. You really think they're going to have CD Lamb back there returning kicks and punts this year?
Could.
I don't.
I don't know that it's likely, but I mean they could.
They could, but I don't think they're doing that. They're not having their number one receiver back there doing that, unless it's a situation where it's late in the game, they need a return. And
who's it going to be then? James Washington?
Maybe, or maybe they draft a guy that they feel confident in, or who else is on this roster that they think could do that.
Has James Washington done punts? He has not.
He did return. He returned a few in Pittsburgh.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't see it on here.
Not a ton, but he did do a few. I remember reading that when the Cowboys signed him.
I think he did it at Oklahoma State. I don't know.
He did do that at Oklahoma State as well. Yeah, he's done that in his career. But I don't know. I'd be interested in a Tyler Lockett move if that presented itself. Now that's not something that's been out of Seattle.
Settle down, 817. Bobby is not sounding like another cat boy. I'm just saying, like, there's a difference between we can't acquire anybody, and just like what is better for the value. Like, there's just better value to me, like paying somebody like Cole Beasley less than you pay Tyler Lockett, and you have to trade a pick for Tyler Lockett.
And I hear what you're saying there. Absolutely.
817 doesn't.
But and the 817, it'll take a third, if not a second rounder to get Lockett. He's 32 or 33 years old. I just don't think that a player of that age is going to demand. Is he? He's 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's the oldest looking 30-year-old on the planet.
He looks, he looks like Felix Jones, doesn't he? He does, man.
I don't know that I'd say Felix, but
they're both balding and have weird mustaches. I think him and Felix Jones are they're in the same looking family there.